Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update and all the physical releases coming to the Switch. October the 9th until the 13th. What do we got? Red Dead Redemption is releasing this week. This contains the base game and the Undead Nightmare expansion, but no online, but that's fine because I don't think anybody played that. Did you? I don't know. I've only played this briefly for like a few hours when I visited my dad one time, and those few hours, they were fantastic. So having this on the go is going to be great. I don't know how well it runs on the Switch, but you know, it's a 360 game, so it can't be that bad, can it? Well, let's try to forget those Grand Theft Auto releases. Did they redeem themselves? If you want a rootin' cowboy adventure with a side dose of zombie apocalypse, then you should definitely give this a try. I'll be picking it up if and when it gets a little bit cheaper. And our executive producers, Thorn Metal Luna, Totally Grateful, and Instacritic have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want to purchase this right now or any of the retail releases in this week's episode, please check the links down below. You can buy from Video Games Plus, and that is a fantastic way to support us because VGP are awesome. They've got great prices in favorable Canadian money and free worldwide shipping over 80 Canadian dollars, which is not that much. Plus, if you purchase anything with our links, you can be in with a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon each week. And this week's winner is James I. Congratulations, you will get an email from VGP in the coming days with your discount coupon. Thank you for your support. Wildcard Football is releasing in the US this week. Apparently Europe needs to wait until later in October. It's fine, we're in no rush, American friends. No rush at all. Actually, I played my very first American football video game last week. I played NFL 2K1 on the Dreamcast. And you know what? Despite the unbearable pomp, actually a pretty fun sport. And this is a fantasy version of football with super deformed characters in weird places. Fewer players as well, because obviously, how many players do you actually need? This looks pretty awesome, and yeah, I think I'd prefer to play this over the latest Madden game or whatever. Tin Hearts is releasing in North America this week. This is already out in Europe. It sneaked out over there quite a while back without me mentioning it. Someone did point it out, but I thought I'd give it its due when its North American release, which is this week. And this looks like a lovely little game. You're a tin soldier in a toy workshop. I don't know what the goal is, but it's reminding me of Clockwork Knight on the Sega Saturn, just less murder, I think. Dino Ranch Ride to the Rescue is the latest in a spate of dinosaur riding games. We literally just had Paleo Pines. Who knew the competition was so fierce, especially amongst two shovelware companies? This is Microids, which means it's probably releasing in Europe this week, but America will have to wait until the CEO flies over the cargo plane over with the ESRB version on it. I believe he's currently on a wine tasting vacation in Italy, so it might be a while before he's legal to fly again. Fresh Start is the latest media, originally made for a Greenpeace convention booth, but then they decided to make it into an actual game in order to make the moolah for the CEO. Non-profit my arse, tell that to your swimming pool. Actually, none of that is true. I just like making stuff up. Here you clean up the environment, protect the animals. It's the kind of propaganda we can all get behind. Good stuff. Clean your rubbish, you selfish gits. Transformers Earthspark Expedition is the latest outright games release trying to disappoint your childhood. This is a harmless looking action adventure game with a bit of platforming, a bit of driving, and a bit of fist to the faciness. You know Christmas is coming when outright games start pumping out a game every single week. Those guys are insane for the money. Speaking of Christmas and speaking of outright games, they ain't done yet because we've got The Grinch Christmas Adventures. Isn't it like a bit early? Like November, I can handle that, but we're not even past Halloween yet. Here you have to help the Grinch and Max steal Christmas like they love to do so much. It looks like a simple, harmless co-op platformer that you could play with your kid. And our executive producers Punky Dooster and Parsnip Coffee have chosen this as their pick of the week. They be trolling! Survivor Castaway Island is a party game, another piece of guffage from Microids. I have literally no idea why anyone would buy this over other party games. Like, is Survivor even on TV anymore? I thought people had rumbled it for being like painfully fake and dramatized. I don't know. All entertainment is rubbish. Alright, The Low Prince. The Tartarus Key is Super Rare's latest Switch release. 3,000 copies going to be available, and don't think guys, but one of those is going to be mine. Hell yes, a PS1 style horror game, count me in. I mean, the graphics are a bit too wobbly to be authentic, but I'm all about this. I don't know if it's good, I don't know if it's bad, but it's tickling me in all the right places. So much so that I'm going to take a risk on it. Hopefully it doesn't sell out by the time I wake up in the morning because, you know, time zones. Be there on Thursday. Anuchard is Premium Edition Games' latest Nintendo Switch game. They've had quite a few months getting their previous pre-orders nice and ready, and Series 7 is starting now. Anuchard is leading the charge, so to speak. It's another top-down Zelda-like, which, you know, I'm not complaining about, and it's not a roguelike as far as I'm aware, which is all good. Pre-orders for the standard and retro editions are available right now. They are going to have other games available over the coming month, but you can grab them all together at the same time in a mega bundle. And remember, if you want to order anything from Premium Edition Games, click the link in the description because that helps support us too. Gothic 2 Classic. Yes, hot off the trails of Gothic Classic, we've got the sequel, and it's once again exclusive to THQ's web store in Europe. It's not shipping till November, but I'll mention it now since it's a store exclusive. Apparently a lot of people were happy to hear of Gothic 1, so I will assume people are also happy about this one as well. I have to admit, I'd never heard of either of these beforehand, and a funny thing, last week I had to cut the section down because I genuinely assumed it was a different game than what it actually was. For some reason, I thought this was like a Doom clone, so when I finally saw the trailer to edit the video, I was quite confused and also quite embarrassed, but you know, the more you know, it's an RPG thingy. And our executive producer, Precision Plague, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Alright, the imports, we're heading into Play Asia territory. If you want to import any of the games shown here, please consider using our Play Asia links below. Play Asia is always the #1 way to support us, and thank you ever so much. Plus in return, you can get a tasty 5% off with our discount code SWTV23. That's good until the end of December, so I'm told. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, that makes sense, right? But please remember to click the link first. We've got two interesting imports this week. Firstly, River City Ransom is back, remade in this import exclusive release from Japan and Asia. This is a remake of the original but enhanced with new story events and even online play. It looks great and plays even more tightly, so I've heard, and there's a brand new fighting mode called DDD with loads of unlockable characters. Now, I'm not a huge fan of NES games because it was before my time, but I've always been able to appreciate the River City Ransom games, like the Kunio-kun series. Interestingly, alongside the standard edition, there is also a collector's edition that is exclusive to Play Asia, similar to their usual CEs with acrylic standees and soundtracks that popped up out of nowhere. And our executive producers Cartoon Soren, Vey, God of Resin and Feig have chosen this as their pick of the week. Sunblaze is an import exclusive that also came out of nowhere. It was announced last week pretty much and is releasing this week. Surprise! This is from Leoful, who are known for their smaller indie Asian exclusives. This is your standard precision platformer, you know the kind, the one you're supposed to die 1,000 times and pretend you're having fun. But this does have accessibility options for those who don't fancy that kind of experience. Apparently it's got a decent amount of content for the gameplay style with lots of levels, and as always with Leoful, it has English and is an import exclusive. Japan is also getting a game called Ria Sakai, which sadly does not have English because, yeah, I really wish it would do because it looks awesome. Alright, the community spotlight. Choco Loco James got in the recent Japanese release of Dodonpachi. This is the same one that Limited Run did because it's by their Japanese label. Shame they didn't do a double or triple pack with the other games, if only it was a different publisher. Executive producer Instacritic sent in this picture with a few Darksiders games. VGP recently reprinted all of them and had them for a really decent price. I'm not sure if they still have some in stock though. El Cubano Loco sent in this photo picking up We Love Katamari. I haven't seen many people with this one. I thought it would be more popular, but I guess, you know, the series is obscure for a reason. Rebecca R sent in this photo showing a few collector's editions. Remember, NIS America almost always have collector's editions for their games on their web store. Even those you think wouldn't be worth it, it is worth it for their bank balance. Psych Villain, thank you for the donation. Moonrider looks pretty awesome. Remember, Limited Run Games did this in North America. Pix and Love did it in Europe. Robin H sent in this photo, another bolt gun. I mean, the game looks awesome and the trailer sold me on it, but there were a few comments regarding performance issues. Apparently it doesn't run great on the Switch. Bill R sent in this photo showing off a few nice little imports, 2 Mugen Souls, and Yoni, an obscure horror game released only in Japan, which does have English. You may remember I showed it off previously because it was super cheap. Executive producer Cartoon Sorensen in this photo showing off the holy grail pretty much, probably paying the big bucks. Yeah, this is never going to be cheap unless it gets reprinted. Even then, it probably still will be expensive. Executive producer Offone sent in this photo, picking up Tears of the Kingdom, a bit later than most, but still way earlier than me, because I don't know when I'm going to get to it. You know, I've got too much to do before I can sink my life into this. Executive producer Feig sent in this photo of the Treasure Box edition of Fate Samurai, which I've heard is actually really good, so that's nice to hear. Wankel Rotary Engine showed off this swag from Tokyo Game Show, and I cannot wait for the Three Kingdoms 8 remake. That's just kind of insane. Executive producer Precision Plague sent in this photo showing off the bizarrely rare and expensive World End Syndrome, a nice visual novel that only released in Europe in not particularly high quantities. Ashura G sent in this photo showing off Procession to Calvary, which is as daft as it looks. It took a while for Red Hot Games to get this produced, but it's out and about now. Ala Rocco sent in this photo showing off more NIS America madness with a lot of PS1, PSP classics. That was really when they were at their peak for me. Like, the writing was actually good, the production spot on, good times. Executive producer Vei, my man in Japan, sent in this photo showing off a few import exclusives, a couple at the top there. I know I got a lot of shit for Infinity Strash, our sponsored video, but feel free to believe me or not, I actually like the game, because there's no way I'd accept a sponsorship for something that I don't like, okay? The game got a lot of backlash from people who were expecting something different and not really judging it on what it actually is. I really think it's a decent game. Like, not mind-blowing, but it's a decent game. Certainly not 4 out of 10. Whoever gave it a 4 out of 10 are idiots. Executive producer Alex Empson in this photo showing off a bunch of great indie games. Gorogoa isn't one you see often. It's quite obscure, and aside from I Am 8-Bit's website, I'm not sure where you can actually buy it these days. Alright, let's have a roundup. Manji. JB in my knots. Pabs. Andrew R. Axaru. Shlomo. Bunny Bear. That Potato Main. James. That Bloody Sadomasochist. Needless Dragon. Gundam Wing Zero. Cressalak. McLaren. Mickey McFlynn. Luna Dragon. Radio to Rancid. Singuis. Starvey. And that's it. Please send me pictures over on Twitter at SoWhatAboutGame. Please DM me, or you can send it in an email, switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com, and our Discord. The server link is down below. You can submit it in the submissions section. Only 1 picture per week. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this less than special episode of Let's Get Physical. I just got off holiday, and I'm also have to work this weekend. Like, I got off holiday, which means, you know, you gotta pay for it by working the weekends. So I'm working Saturday and Sunday. So this is just a quick one, not very special, right? But anyways, thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through, please leave me a cowboy emoji in the comments in honor of the rootin' tootin' cowboys. I don't know what accent that was, nothing to do with cowboys. And special thanks as always to our executive producers Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, Jcross7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metaluna, Parsnip Coffee, Issa Vey, Mental Traveler Offbone, Jennifer M, Instacritic, Precision Play, Karacha, Totally Grateful, Alex M, and Feig. Thank you kindly for your support. And ladies and gentlemen, just one last thing. A Bit More Jordan, my other channel. I've mentioned it loads of times before, but not recently. But yeah, A Bit More Jordan, As Your Dreams, my big 2-hour retrospective is coming up tomorrow. Yes, it will be public tomorrow. It's on my Patreon right now, but public will be tomorrow. So if you want to see me talk about As Your Dreams for 2 hours, yeah, go over there right now, tomorrow.